So typically when we think about buying a house or a condo, it seems like a relatively straightforward decision. Usually condos are smaller, maybe lower priced, houses are bigger, higher priced. But in DC we have this interesting situation where we have condos that are the same size as houses. They have outdoor space like houses. They're similar price, if not more sometimes. And buyers are choosing between, do I buy a house or do I buy a condo? And I think that there are some important considerations to make because these two different types of housing, they can look very much the same. They can have very similar lifestyle qualities. But I think that they're actually pretty different because a condo as a form of homeownership is different than a single family. So some of the things to take into consideration, benefits of a condo are typically you get newer, usually pretty new construction, potentially bigger space, maybe wider, more open spaces, and they can be easier if you travel a lot or if it's not a primary residence because you don't have to like cut the grass or rake the leaves. So that type of thing is easier. If you have packages, neighbors can potentially bring them in for you. So those are some of the benefits. For a house, the benefits are complete autonomy. I mean, outside of the rules and regulations of building codes, zoning things, you can basically do whatever you want to your house. You can paint whatever color, you can knock down walls, you can put in 5 bathrooms, nobody really cares. Whereas in a condo, you need to get permission and kind of go through more of a process for anything that might impact your neighbors. So those are some of like the benefits of each of these. Now, I think the important thing to take into consideration is that a lot of people, when they're looking to buy a condo, they want something easier, right? They want something where they don't have the responsibility of maintaining a home. And when it comes to what we have most commonly as a row house conversion into condos, which might be 2 or 3 units, maybe 4, it may not end up to be less work in terms of time and effort of maintaining. The reason why is that most smaller condo buildings are self-managed. That's because it keeps the cost down. Property management can run a few $100s a month for a small building, and that would increase everyone's condo fees by quite a lot. So what we have instead is that it's self-managed. Each owner kind of, some buildings, if it's 4 units, maybe only 2 people are on the board, but in a 2-unit building, it's you and the other owner. You're making decisions together. You're running your condo association. And with that comes some responsibilities and some work. And so I think there's this idea that when you buy a condo, like somebody else is going to handle when the roof is leaking or if the siding blows off in the wind, somebody else is going to handle that. Well, in a 2-unit self-managed building, you and the other owner are going to handle that decision together on what to do, and you're going to budget together. And so where it can seem easier and more simple, it might actually be more complicated. We don't always get to choose who our neighbors are, if ever, and you may have different viewpoints than your neighbor on how these things should be handled. So I know that there are situations where their self-managed condos, they operate beautifully, people understand their role, but then there's other ones where maybe one person doesn't want anything to do with it, and then the other person gets stuck not only making decisions as if it were their own home, but also making decisions for the association. So that's something to take into consideration when looking at these condos that are house alternatives. And in DC, they're mostly row house conversions. In bigger buildings, it's very different. We don't have that situation. So just wanted to present this as an idea and something to think about when choosing what type of home might be best for you and your family.